meeting. Good morning, Lynn. I want to welcome my guest, Lynn Erasmus, to our inaugural podcast recording of Leather with Barbera. Lynn Erasmus has joined us as a guest today. Liz is the founder of Pathfinder. And I'm going to let Lynn explain a little bit about who she is and what Pathfinder is. So in your own words, Lynn, if you just go ahead and explain who you are and what you're all about in the world of well-being for humans and health for humans.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for having me. So Pathfinder was reborn 2 years ago. It's 100% focused on individuals who are looking for an alternative way to heal themselves. And it's physically, emotionally, and mentally. We work with the three different we work with the integration of the three parts. We don't believe that we are separate. We have to heal the spirit, to heal the mind, to heal the body. And it starts with you, the human. We normally, most of our clients work with is root trauma. Root trauma creates a range of symptoms from anxiety, depression, burnouts, not good enough stories, the self-sabotage. So many of those stories are coming from a trauma, and trauma is just a stuck energy that hasn't been released because you haven't had the tools or the resources to release it. So that's in a nutshell what we do.
Fantastic. What is one truth about health that you know to be true through your work or lived experience, but that the public, media, or even your own industry still isn't ready to fully hear?
The body is designed to heal itself.
Yes, I think that's true, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
there's so much outside influence on trying to get the body to heal itself without it doing it itself. It's
Yes.
almost forced into doing it through
Yes.
many sort of, particularly medicines. Take this, put that on your body, and that will do the trick. That's fantastic.
I think the problem is that most of us live in the head because we've been told from this has been probably about, I don't know how many centuries now, that your mind is separate from your body. And science have been trying to debunk that we don't have a soul. So we are separate entities and we've been treated separately. So if we've got a headache, we are treated for something in the head. If it's a shoulder pain, something in the shoulder, it's in the body. Where if we allow ourselves the opportunity to just sit with our bodies and feel where it feels, what is going on, we'll be able to pick up the cues. Every single organ, every single body part holds a certain truth for us. I'm helping so many women at the moment who they always say they've got a range of other challenges and symptoms, and then they'll say, my hips are sore, my hips are really aching. And then when we ask, are you supporting an elderly person? Are you, is your parents going into care, or is there a bit of trouble there? Yes. How did you know? It's the hips. It's where we hold. It's where we hold that trauma, that nervous system response. So every body part is connected to the dorsal vagus, connecting from your head to your tailbone. And that is why we pick up the little signals in different parts. In your shoulder here is oftentimes bitterness, resentment. What are you holding on to?
Yes.
In your shoulders, are you carrying the world on your shoulders?
Yeah.
So it's fascinating once we go down that route and just sit with the body and just ask and say, tell me, show me what's going on. What can I do? and it will tell you, rest, switch off, don't take those tablets, don't drink that second bottle of wine, don't eat
Yeah.
that whole cake.
No, it is. And you know, we have talked before this interview because we've met before, obviously, and always had long conversations as well. It's all very much. We forget that pain, physical emanation of pain, is linked to psychology and your psychological health. And I think we've had so many years of indoctrination to believe that they should always be treated separately. There is cases medically that is the case, but a lot of the time it's also intertwined, isn't it? So you can't just treat one without thinking about the other.
Yes.
It goes along those lines, and
Yes.
find that extraordinarily interesting. So, second, just bear in mind what you've just said. If we don't change how we talk about this, then this matter of disengaging between psychological and physical pain as much as we do, just obviously because of the way that we treat it and the industry behind treating physical pain, which is $1 billion industry, as we know. If we don't change how we talk about this openly, honestly, and without shame, what do you believe the real human cost will be for, say, 5 or 10 years' time?
To be honest, I don't think we will. There's a massive shift. I see a massive shift in the environment that I work in, social media, the communities I visit. There's definitely an openness to this topic that I didn't even find 2 years ago, to be honest. 2 years ago, when I started speaking about this, there was like, whoa, what are you talking about? Now, when I talk about it, they're like, tell me more. So there's definitely a shift because people realize the old ways is not working. It's not. It's it's not we making this up. It's not like we thumb suck and say the old ways is not working anymore. Medical is not working the way it used to. The NHS or whatever, and it's not a slant on them. It's not trying to dismiss them or doctors or nurses. I do believe that everyone is trying the best they can with the tools and the resources they have available and the capacity that they are given. I mean, our poor nurses and doctors are run off their feet. They do not have the capacity to look after everyone in a trauma-informed manner. They do not have the capacity to look further into, oh, maybe somatics is the answer. Maybe this whole integration is the answer. So I think what the big call for me from my call out is to have more compassion. And I think compassion starts with ourselves, learn how to have compassion for ourselves first. And when we do, we tend to be less judgmental towards the people around us. We have more compassion as a default for the people around us, and it's different to empathy. Empathy is a broader
an assimilation to another person. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So yeah, I do believe. Maybe I'm just an eternal optimist, but I do believe that things are changing. And I think if we see it more and build towards that and have less resistance to it, there'll be better things that will come our way. It's all in the mind. What you look at, you attract. So if we look at noise, we'll attract noise. If we look things to complain about, we'll attract things to complain about. And the same with if you look for things that work will come your way. If you look at options and opportunities, options and opportunities will come your way. So it's just being willing to loosen that edge. We quite, as humans, we've been taught a certain way to have certain beliefs, certain identities, and that gives us certainty. And certainty is what our brain seeks more than anything else in the world. It just wants to make sure that you're safe, that you've got certainty. And our identity, our beliefs, our values give us that certainty. And that is what we reinforce, that confirmation bias. We keep seeking that. If you're looking for explanation on a medical explanation on Google or social media, you will find it.
Yes,
And
yes.
the opposite is also true if you're looking for the opposite side.
Mhm.
So I think it's just important for us to become aware of what our truth are. We all have a truth, and we hang on to that truth for dear life, whether it destroys us or not, but it's my truth. I
No,
will
true.
fight for my truth. And in the end of the day, that's exactly what it does. It just destroys us, and as a society, it has ripped us apart because everyone has a different truth, and we're like, oh, your truth is different to mine, so we should not be friends. Look at COVID.
No, true. Yeah, I do. I completely. Well, I agree with you fully. Hence the reason we connected when we were at Ideas Fest
Mm.
in the middle of last year, 2025. Just because, and it's the reason I set up my own business, is there is too many people who are using the healthcare system to soothe a psychological issue via a biological problem. So sort of I see it as that reverse of psychosomatic illness. I've suffered psychosomatic illness in the past, through manifesting my deep psychological pain that I had through obviously going to the doctors and saying, "Oh, I've got this pain here and I've got that pain," just because it was easier to soothe it than dealing with the psychological problems. And I think that's where we're at the moment. I think COVID has caused a lot of that. I think all the lockdown and etc. That did cause problems. But I get what you're saying 100%. I think it's interesting to hear that you see that it's changing. I don't know whether that's just where you live. I mean, I live in quite a rural village in rural southwest Scotland, and there is the predominant population is of a certain age.
Okay.
And that certain age of people don't accept anything that we or you will talk about in this podcast, or anybody that follows us, just because they're of a certain age where it's only a doctor or it's only a vet. So if you haven't got a white coat on, I'm not interested. It's got
Yeah.
to be a pill or a medicine or a lotion, and the two are not connected. The headache, is it connected to something that happened to me as a child, or they don't see the two things as a together thing.
Hey, I'm gonna challenge you on this one, Brian,
Hmm.
because I've said this exact same thing 2 years ago.
Okay.
Exact same thing.
I like a challenge, so I'm happy to be accepted.
Said exactly the same thing. I said, these people don't know. They don't see it. They don't want to see it. And I was so judgmental, and I was so like hanging on to my anger and resentment because
Mm,
they wouldn't choose me. They wouldn't choose to work with me. They would
mm,
like you say, they would only, no, 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 no. If you're
yeah,
not wearing a white coat, I'm not going to see you. And I would judge them like, you don't know any better. Da, 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 da. It's fine. I'll just stand here. And one day when you're ready, come back to me.
yes,
And it took me probably about 6 to 8 months
yeah,
before I had to whittle. I had to work on my own, internal voices and
mm,
messaging that I'm sending out to the universe.
yeah,
And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to start looking away at what is, according to what my reality is. I'm going to not look at my reality. I'm not going to look at what is, what I
yeah,
perceive it to be. I'm going to look at something else, and I'm going to create something else. I'm going to create a new reality for myself.
mm,
And it didn't actually even take that long, to be honest with you. I started this space here in Scotland in about October 2020.